Hey everyone, how you doing today? It's the Jack of all trades, and today's video is going to be a discussion about how gaming used to be yesterday versus how gaming is today. And the short version of this topic would go something like this. It's basically like comparing going to the casino versus the online casino. Now, they both have similarities and differences, but the overall experience is pretty different. Now, my own personal belief is that the old arcade days can never ever be duplicated. And you know what I mean, especially if you're around my age, which is 30. And I mean, back in the 90s, gaming was at the beginning of its way to being adopted or accepted as pop culture, and there were a lot of gamers, and the businesses that were making games were certainly profiting, but it was still kind of like a closed world in a sense. Back then, it seemed like gaming was for antisocial people or just for kids, which has shown over time that this is definitely not the case. And today gaming is not only cool, but it's great to game because of the money that people can make from it also. So it's not quote unquote frowned upon. Now, the biggest thing that both eras have in common is that the PC is still the top dog overall. And it all basically started on the PC, especially with competitive gaming, like around 1998 or 1999. Competitive gaming was for the most part on PC, thanks to the internet, as well as was certainly a smaller world back then than it is today. Now, thanks to the internet again, and with the gaming world getting more and more popular, it really has risen to another level, and at the same time, the quality of gaming has also taken a step back in a sense. It's taken many steps forward, obviously, because of technology and with the popularity rising, with people playing games for a living, games are looking and playing better than ever. It's also taken a step back because back in the day, it just seemed like it was more about the passion of gaming overall above anything else. I mean, yes, money and profits was also a factor, but the passion just seemed to be the first thing, the very first priority overall. And today, it just seems that money is a bigger factor than the passion, and unfortunately a lot of games have suffered in quality because of it. And I understand that businesses need to maximize profits, but it just tends to go overboard, and on that focus it just tends to go overboard, and the games end up suffering because of it, and I'll just leave it at that. Now, the old arcade days will forever be cherished for people that are that grew up around the same era that I did, because of the feeling of just going to the arcade and playing with and around crowds of people, the music, the reactions, when, for example, let's say you see two people go at it in a new fighting game that just got released, and with everyone watching, I mean, it just enhances the overall experience and really adds to the fun factor. Not to mention, you would meet new people in the flesh and have a true social experience. No matter how much more advanced consoles get and the internet gets, you just can't duplicate that kind of experience. There are a few perks to online gaming versus going to the arcade, for sure, yes. Like, you don't have to leave the house, you're not burning gas, you're not spending, let's say, around $20, give or take, for every time you go to the arcade to play for, 2 to 4 hours, or, So you have literally everything at your fingertips today, and through technology, it is somewhat interesting of how you can connect and play with other people. But when you look at it and compare it in the simplest ways, it's basically a synthetic experience, which is not the same as the real social experience. It's not the same thing. A Skype call isn't the same thing as meeting the person in the flesh, This is why LAN parties are somewhat of a combination of the two scenarios. Now, LAN parties are much more competitive, though, than a random day at the arcade on a weekend. Thanks to competitive gaming, obviously. And as far as old consoles are concerned, you had to go through someone else's house to play a game with them if you wanted to play, multiplayer or two-player or whatnot. So home gaming was also limited in comparison as to what it is today. But overall, in conclusion, both eras have great things about them, no doubt about it, as well as a few things that are lacking. Although I may sound a little biased when I say that the only thing that was lacking back in the day was technology and the exposure that wasn't there to where it is today, and not many people were making a living playing games back in the day, like in the early 90s. And today, we're just trying to duplicate the social experience, but although we can get close, it's, like I said, it's synthetic compared to the real thing. But overall, it's okay. That's fine, because the times are different, the games are different. There will always be pros and cons from both sides, but I think that the important thing is that no matter what, I believe the one thing that should never ever change among both developers and gamers alike is that the passion should always come before anything else. So for those of you that grew up around the same era that I did, tell me, let me know in the comments section down below. What do you miss about the old arcade days, and which game did you like to play the most back then? And what do you guys think most about gaming today? What do you guys like most about gaming today, or what you don't like, or what you think we can improve on? That's pretty much it. I want to thank everybody for watching. It was a lot of fun talking about this and kind of taking a trip down memory lane and mentally reliving the good old days of gaming that I really grew up in and that I cherish till this day. So that's pretty much it. And my name is the Jack of All Trades, and I'll see you guys in the next one.